You're standing at the base of a mountain that 99% of people will never climb. Not because they can't, but because they don't even know the route exists. The 8 steps to real wealth aren't hidden. They're just invisible to anyone who hasn't started walking. Step 1. The awakening. You're 23 and something clicks. Maybe it's watching your parents stress over a $400 car repair. Maybe it's realizing your degree prepared you for nothing except more debt. The specifics don't matter. What matters is the moment you understand that trading time for money is a game you'll never win. Most people have this realization at 60. You're having it now, which puts you ahead of almost everyone. You start reading. Not novels, not news. Books about money that feel like they're written in a different language. Compound interest, asset allocation, tax optimization. Terms that sound boring until you realize they're the difference between retiring at 65 and retiring at 40. You're working your regular job, the one that pays $52,000 a year and makes you feel like you're slowly dissolving. But now, you're also working a second job that nobody sees. Learning how money actually works. Here's what nobody tells you about this phase. It's lonely. Your friends are financing cars they can't afford. They're celebrating promotions that come with a 3% raise and pretending it matters. You're eating ramen and putting every spare dollar into index funds they've never heard of. They think you're cheap. You know you're building escape velocity. Step 2. The grind. You've absorbed the theory. Now comes the part that separates people who read about wealth from people who build it. Execution. You're working your day job and a side hustle. Maybe it's freelancing, maybe it's an online business, maybe it's buying broken items and flipping them. The specifics are less important than the pattern. You're learning to create value outside the 40-hour-a-week box they told you was the only option. The money from your side work isn't changing your life yet. You're making an extra $1,000 a month, maybe $2,000 if you're hustling hard. But you're not spending it. Every dollar goes into your investment accounts. Your savings rate hits 30%, then 40%, then 50%. Your coworkers think you're insane. They don't understand why you're not upgrading your apartment or buying a nicer car. You don't bother explaining. The gap between your lifestyle and your income is becoming a superpower they'll never develop. 3 years pass. Your net worth crosses 6 figures. You did it without an inheritance, without crypto luck, without anything except consistent deposits and time. The math was always simple. They just never believed it would work for them. Step 3. The acceleration. Something shifts. Your investment accounts are generating returns that dwarf your monthly contributions. You're still adding money, but now the money itself is working. A good month in the market makes more than you earn in 2 weeks at your job. This is the moment most people never reach because they gave up during step 2. Your side income has grown. What started as freelance work has evolved into something with systems, something that runs partially without you. You're making $5,000 a month outside your job, and the number keeps climbing. The combination of investment returns and business income creates momentum that feels almost unfair. You're not working harder than your peers. You're just working on different things. But here's where it gets interesting. You've built something valuable enough that you start seeing opportunities invisible to everyone else. A friend mentions he's selling his rental property. You have the capital and knowledge to buy it. A colleague's side business is failing. You can see exactly why and exactly how to fix it. Wealth isn't just growing anymore. It's creating more pathways to wealth. The rich get richer isn't a slogan. It's a description of how capital compounds across opportunities. You're 30 now. Your day job feels like an increasingly expensive insurance policy. You could quit, but the steady income still serves a purpose. For now. Your investment accounts have crossed $250,000. Your side business is approaching 6 figures annually. You're not rich yet by any meaningful standard, but you're no longer poor. More importantly, you're no longer stuck. The next phase requires something most people can't give. Not money, not time, but identity. Because what got you here won't get you there. Step 4. The identity shift. You've spent a decade building assets while your friends built lifestyles. Now comes the hard part. Letting go of the safety net. Your job pays well. The benefits are solid. Your manager likes you. Every rational part of your brain says, keep it, play it safe, don't risk what you've built. But the math has changed. Your side business generates more than your salary. Your investments throw off dividends that cover half your expenses. You're paying for security you no longer need. The decision takes 6 months, not because the numbers are unclear, because walking away from a paycheck feels like jumping off a cliff even when you've built a parachute. Your parents think you're insane. They worked 40 years for a pension you're abandoning in your 30s. You can't explain it in terms they'll accept, so you stop trying. You quit on a Tuesday. No drama, no grand exit. Just 2 weeks' notice and a handshake. The first month feels wrong. You wake up without anywhere you're required to be. The structure you've followed since college just vanishes. Some people call this freedom. It feels more like vertigo. But your business grows faster without the job consuming half your waking hours. You hire your first employee, then a second. Revenue doubles, then doubles again. You're learning that money makes money, but attention makes more money. And you just freed up 40 hours a week of attention. Step 5. The multiplication. Your net worth crosses $500,000, then $1 million. The number itself means less than what it represents. Options. You can take a year off and travel. You can invest in opportunities your previous self couldn't access. You can survive years without income if everything collapses. The wealthy people you meet now don't seem smarter than your old coworkers. They just made different choices 10 years ago and let compounding do its work. You start investing in things beyond index funds. Private deals, real estate, businesses run by people you trust. Some investments fail. The winners cover the losers and then some. Here's what nobody tells you. The jump from 0 to your first 100,000 is brutal. Requires discipline that feels unnatural. But the jump from 1 million to 2 takes half the time with half the effort. From 2 to 4, even faster. Wealth compounds exponentially while effort compounds linearly. You're 40 now. Your investment portfolio generates 6 figures annually. Your business runs with minimal involvement. You've achieved what they call financial independence, though the term feels clinical for what it actually means. You can't be fired. Can't be downsized. Can't have your life upended by someone else's decisions about their quarterly earnings. The friends who laughed at your frugality in your 20s are still working jobs they hate, still waiting for the promotion that'll finally make them happy. You don't feel superior. You feel sad. The information was always available, they just never believed it applied to them. Step 6. The realization. You have more money than you'll probably spend. Your kids will inherit wealth you didn't. The number in your account keeps growing, but your life hasn't changed proportionally. You still wear cheap clothes, still drive a modest car. The habits that built wealth are now just habits. Some wealthy people chase bigger numbers forever. More properties, more businesses, more zeros. You understand the impulse. When the scoreboard is money and you're winning, why stop playing? But something shifted. The game that consumed your 20s and 30s feels less interesting. You start giving money away, not for tax breaks or recognition, because you have more than you need and others have less. The foundation you establish operates quietly. No galas, no naming rights. Just systematic deployment of capital toward problems you care about. Turns out money is better at solving certain problems than you expected, and worse at others. You're 50. Wealthy by any standard. But the wealth feels like a byproduct of something else. Discipline, patience, delayed gratification, pattern recognition. The money was always just the measurement of those qualities compounding over decades. Somewhere right now, a 23-year-old is Googling how to get rich. They'll find the same information you found. Most will read it and do nothing. A few will start. Fewer will persist. The ones who make it won't be smarter or luckier. Just more willing to spend a decade looking poor while becoming wealthy. The path was always there. Most people just never take the first step. Step 7. The perspective. You're watching someone celebrate their first 6-figure salary like they've made it. You remember being that person. The excitement feels genuine from their side. From yours, it's just the beginning of a much longer road they haven't seen yet. Wealth changes how you see time. Your friends still trade hours for dollars, measuring worth in annual income. You measure in decades, in compound growth rates, in opportunity costs they don't calculate. A dinner that costs $200 isn't expensive or cheap. It's just $200. The emotional charge around money dissolved somewhere along the way. You meet people worth 50 million, 100 million. They're not fundamentally different from you. Just further along the same exponential curve. Some got there through luck. most through the same boring disciplines you practiced. The difference between 10 million and 100 million is mostly time and risk tolerance. Your kids will never understand what you built. They'll grow up with wealth as a given, not a goal. You try explaining the importance of the habits that created it. They nod politely. You can't transfer hunger to people who've never been hungry. Step 8. The summit. You're 60. The mountain you started climbing 4 decades ago levels out. Not because you stopped climbing, because you reached altitude where the air is different. Your net worth doesn't matter anymore. It's a number that updates itself while you sleep. The investments manage themselves. The businesses run without you. The foundation deploys capital according to principles you established years ago. You've built a machine that functions independently of your daily involvement. You think about the 23-year-old who started this journey, the one eating ramen and reading books about compound interest. That person feels both impossibly distant and immediately present. Every decision they made led directly here. Every sacrifice compounded into this moment. The view from the top isn't what you expected. You thought wealth would feel like arrival. Instead, it feels like discovering that the mountain was never the point. The climb was the point. The person you became during the ascent was the point. Most people are still at base camp, arguing about whether the mountain is climbable, whether the route is fair, whether anyone actually makes it to the top. You can see them from up here. Small figures in the distance, still talking about starting tomorrow. The path hasn't changed. The steps are exactly where they were when you started. Still visible, still accessible, still ignored by 99% of people who see them. 8 steps separate financial mediocrity from genuine wealth. Not 8 secrets, not 8 hacks. 8 deliberate phases that require a decade each of consistent execution. Most people never start. The few who do rarely make it past step 3. But the ones who persist discover something strange. The destination was never really about the money.